speech, right?
Yes.
One of my, I mean, David Foster Wallace is one of my favorite writers in terms of how he writes. I think stylistically is very interesting.
Yeah. Do you like his essays or his novels more?
I think I enjoy his essays a lot, actually.
I do too.
I enjoy his essays a lot, and his short stories are also very, very interesting. I think his novels are kind of like an expanded version of his short stories, so stylistically they're kind of the same. But his essays are really quite something, I think. Anyway, this is Water, very famous speech. Like he talks about the fish, like the young fish meeting the older fish, and then the older fish asks him like, "Hey boys, how's the water today?" And like, what water? And I think that. I have one of my best friends. We talk about this speech a lot, and kind of it becomes a joke now. Like every time we meet him, like, "Hey, how's the water?" And I think I kind of like this feeling of always knowing that I am in water. And I think just from my upbringing of kind of moving around quite a lot, that I had to be conscious of what kind of water I was dumped into, and I think I kind of developed, maybe it's just in my head, but I think I'd like to believe that I developed a skill of like just kind of maybe dipping my toe in the water.
Right. Or being a bit meta about everything.
Being kind of like not really in there, but also kind of knowing that I am in a certain aquatic
environment. Water maybe it's like pollution in Jakarta. How's the pollution? What pollution?
What air? I have a funny story about that. We'll get to that later. But anyway, so I think I talk about this with my friends who have grown up here, lived here most of their lives or all of their lives, and they say that it's feeling kind of left out or not feeling like you belong is like just because you didn't grow up here doesn't mean that you're the only one who feels left out. Because these friends of mine who are Jakartan or at least Indonesian through and through, they still feel left out. And I think if we really want to talk about this whole thing, just this kind of world that we live in makes people feel very isolated, I think, regardless of where you're from, so it doesn't really make a difference. Maybe like the way I'm isolated or the way I feel left out is just different from the way that my friends who have lived here, who know this place, every nook and cranny of it, but they still feel left out in their own way. And I think at first, maybe like especially when I just came back to Jakarta as an adult, like kind of being able to kind of establish my own way of living here. I thought, it became kind of like my identity. I'm just passing by, or I'm just this visitor. Or as the same friend that I talked about the David Foster Wallace speech with, like he says, I'm just quoting his phrase here, he describes himself as a permanent tourist in his own house.
Right,
And I think I've kind of grown to kind of also try to understand myself in that perspective.
Right.
Because this whole time, being nowhere, of coming from nowhere and of going nowhere, I think I'm so used to that kind of way of looking at life, of knowing that you're only going to be somewhere for such a limited amount of time, so you detach. Like, at least me. Like, some people know that they have a limited time, they dive into it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like the opposite. Like, I became very distant.
Right.
And so I think I missed a lot of opportunities to, like, not, be more open to people or participate in more things in wherever that place was. And I think it comes with a sense of regret now looking back. So now I think I'm trying to relearn this place, like this city, and trying to get to know more people.
Right.
Because I because now I know that I'm here for like an indefinite period of time, right? So I have time to kind of explore and maybe call it my home.
Yeah.
Once, so I think I'm trying to get out of that mindset of thinking that I'm from this nowhere place. Just trying to understand things and trying to see how like one action can have like a lot of consequences, and you kind of have to live with them sometimes. Because when you move a lot, you forget that there are consequences to things that you do.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because like that's another one of your tweet that I copy pasted for this interview was when you said exactly the same thing. Like you've been you used to to this sort of kind of like feeling of being away, but now you're trying to dive in, maybe not just a toe, but a whole leg into the water. So how's that going?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think it's quite interesting because actually, I think with especially the people I've been meeting the past couple of years, I think that I do feel comfortable. Like, I think that there are lots that we have in common, regardless of our different backgrounds. And it is a very comforting feeling, knowing that there are people who kind of, you can share things with, and you can, turns out maybe you hate the same things. Like, because I think hate unites people.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck that hippie bullshit. I think when you find people who hate the same shit that you do, that's a long.
And it's harder to find those kind of friends.
Exactly. I like that. Tell me what you hate. That's my friendship interview. And I think that I've also kind of learned I think I've been trying to kind of get into the humor a lot as well.
Right.
Like, humor is very regional. Yes. Like, humor is a very kind of telling indicator of how long someone's been around. And I think people who know me quite well, who have known me over a certain stretch of time, they usually say that Jayus garing banget sih lo kayak but like I think these days I can kind of get into the vocab of like something that's more, I don't know, more not really like only what's in my head, because sometimes I think that I have this very dry sense of humor, very dark sense of humor that I developed growing up not here in Indonesia, because I think one thing that I noticed about, maybe Indonesia is too large, but like in Jakarta, people are very funny actually. But funny in the sense that I didn't know that I wouldn't define funny in another cultural context. And again, I'm gonna quote my friend again because I talk to this guy a lot. The permanent tourist in his own house. I've known this guy for almost 10 years now. So we went to the same university. Anak jemput juga.
Jemput prime.
And we were having coffee, I think maybe a year, 2 years ago, and then I cracked it was a silly joke, but I cracked a joke in Indonesian. And he was like, he just kind of looked at me.
What are you doing?
Gue bangga sama lo. Lo udah bisa ngelawak sekarang dah. And I'm like, oh really? I was so happy because it happened so unconsciously. I think that's just like a sense of humor is something that I think a lot of people take for granted. They think that just be funny, but like being funny is so. I mean, it's not the same in every context. Let's just talk about like stand-up comedy in Indonesia, like Indonesian, the language. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the same way. Because that's not how Indonesians joke. And so, like, why do you have to force yourself to
to be that style.
Yeah, to be that style when like apa ya, kayak Sri Mulat gitu lebih pantas, lebih cocok, because we're a very bantering culture. We like to kind of
and lots of
tease
puns.
each other. Lots of puns.
And
we
like
make fun of each other.
Basically like apa namanya slapsticks,
and it works.
Yeah.
Like why do you have to, fake it, So I don't know how I got into that,
but this humor thing is important, I think. Like apa namanya, I also like feel like it's not so much like, so I'm not a funny person. I have like a certain way of saying things that I think like it's more like to me it's also like more about me being able to appreciate the jokes that make me feel more accepted in a way. And more apa namanya, feel like I started to feel that I belong more in this place rather than if people understand my jokes. Like I mean, I sort of grew up in Australia, so I'm naturally sort of say sarcastic, maybe. Like say, this happens all the time. Like saying, "Oh, lo habis dari London ya? Apa namanya? Kita nonton book fair gimana?" Terus kayak my response, "Well, I didn't die."
I survived.
Tapi kan bukannya ini, apa namanya? Nah itu dulu that used to annoy me gitu kan, karena but I don't have to explain what I did. Like, they'll take like 5 hours, and it's so boring. Tapi I don't get disturbed by that kind of like reaction anymore. But tapi itu tadi sih memang lebih appreciating like understanding. Kan awal-awalnya kan waktu gue pertama balik ke sini gue nggak tahu gitu. Itu lucunya di mana misalnya gitu kan. Tapi sekarang sih udah tahu sih. All those like WhatsApp stickers.
My mom taught me that. She has so many stickers.
Tapi mungkin tentang sastra nih, gitu kan. Sedap nih. I think one of the reasons why I sort of like it reminded me, we've planned to have this talk for
like
years,
a
right?
year.
And gue jadi ingat tuh adalah karena kemarin kan ada Jill Fest itu kan, Jakarta International Literary Festival itu, and then I saw someone posted this poem by I think like a queer Indian poet, and the poem is about what's a state, like a nation state, and like the poem was pretty cool. It was very funny and very caustic, and I checked out like the other works by this guy, and like he seems like a pretty cool dude, but actually that poem reminded me of Republic of Postis. It's a poem about this place, or like but a republic, but a state. What can happen in it. Like different sort of like layers, as you said, like of things that are happening on the people, but to me it's sort of kind of like kan post itu banyak di like orang, banyak di share maybe, I don't know. But it's sort of kind of like we were talking about it before, but like gue jadi kepikiran gini sih kayak this festival sort of like in a way sort of kind of like promotes this work by this foreign writer, and people identify with it, identify or what he's saying about the state is very similar to what we feel or we're experiencing here. But then we already have a work like that in your work, Tapi as you said, like maybe your work doesn't get out there, gitu kan. Dan gue bukannya kesel ya, tapi lebih kayak gimana ya? How do we like sort of kind of like? I feel there is something a bit wrong maybe in the way like we get excited when we have our world reflected to us from the outside, when we already have the same conversation happening here
all the time,
and so apa namanya? Yeah, I don't know where this is going to lead, tapi kayak apa namanya? I think it's fair to say that like apa namanya? Misalnya this festival gitu kan, they were looking for like they were doing all this like temanya kan pagar and how like this fences have to be overcome, dan juga kayak promoting this sort of kind of like apa global south sort of like collaboration, blah blah blah, and yet this festival apa namanya, dan mereka kan kayak juga nyari orang-orang yang kayak misalnya lo ditaruh di situ lo bisa langsung ngomong lah misalnya dalam bahasa Inggris whatever gitu kan, tapi justru orang-orang yang emang already doing it itu kan nggak ikutan di situ. Not that like apa namanya we have to, in fact like say misalnya I was invited but I didn't want to karena apa temanya yang gue diundang gue nggak suka gitu kan. Cuman there's apa ya, bukan how do we what should we do to get ourselves heard, tapi lebih kayak what do you think of having been like a writer in Jakarta, Indonesia for like 6 or 7 years now, what do you think of the whole sort of like apa ya, literary ecosystem superstructure at the moment, and how if any it affects your work or the way you see things, or what do you think about it?
No, I think I've always been I'm allergic to a lot of things. Dust, cats, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Certain types of seafood.
Right.
And also this fucking establishment bullshit. That too, I'm quite allergic to.
Yeah.
Not just to be a contrarian here, like, I'm like, just naturally suspicious, when there's any kind of like, big, this kind of spectacle of like literature or whatever, when it's framed in a certain way, like no matter what the cause is. Let's say, global south, that's great, getting more people from this part of the world that, has gone through a lot of batshit crazy stuff, that's good in one sense. But then again, I think, first of all, social media fucks things up, right? Because sometimes you get like basically whoever gets invited or whoever gets known is whoever is being shared on social media, at least the way I see it. And I guess that's a good thing. Sure, it's a good way of promoting your work and whatever. It's a helpful tool. We got to kind of know each other through, just staying in touch through these kinds of outlets. But at the same time, I think sometimes there's just too many buzzwords, like, global south, or subaltern literature, or whatever, whatever you want to use it, and that becomes another thing on its own, and then it becomes this new thing that could be quite toxic, I think. To kind of developing something that's just outside of that label. And I think that's where I have a problem with, these kinds of big festivals, big kind of events, is because sometimes it's just about getting to that event and not really about what is achieved from it.
Yes, that's right.
So again, like I said, the key word here is spectacle, right? It just becomes something that you post and you get excited about for like 5 minutes, and then after that it's like, let's just carry on then. And I'm more interested. I'm not, to be honest. No disrespect to the committee, put it together or whatever. I don't really care, honestly. But I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I'm more interested in smaller communities that have more. This gonna sound really cringy, but like, you know, more organic.
Yeah.
Where you get to know the people, you get to kind of engage with them, you get to be friends with them. You know, it's not just you meet at this big event for like a day and then you kind of like each other's posts and you know that's it. And you know, there's nothing really
substantial
productive there. Nothing substantial. It's all very surface level, and it's kind of sometimes. I mean, this is I think the same in any kind of scene, where you kind of have this kind of